According to the Worldwide Fund, Vietnam is now one of the largest markets for rhino horn around the world. The international criminal gangster brutally killed rhino for horns in South Africa, then smuggled into Vietnam. The demand for rhino horn in Vietnam has caused a major threat to the survival of this animal in South Africa and other countries. According to the data from the Ministry of Environment of South Africa announced on January 22, 2015, there were 1,215 rhinos poached in this country in 2014, equivalent to more than 3 individuals poached each day and 100 individuals poached each month. Under this context, the Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network, Traffic and Wildlife Health Organization (PSI) launched a campaign of the strength of will, or will. This is a part of the efforts to reduce the demand for rhino horn in Vietnam. The campaign is built on the concept of chi in the culture of Vietnam, demonstrating the strength of internal. This is a communication campaign aimed at the urban man to promote the importance of personal bravery, determination, and willpower as the secret to succeed, instead of using a piece of rhino horn. In today's program, we'll find out more about the campaign Chi and its activities in Vietnam through a conversation with Ms. Madelon Willemsen, Traffic's head of office in Vietnam. Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 Netviet. I'm Ngọc Nhất. In our program today, we'll have a chance to talk with Ms. Madelon Willemsen, Head of Office of Traffic Vietnam. She will share with us about the topic of protecting rhino, the strength of will. Thank you, Ms. Madelon Willemsen, for joining our program today. First of all, can you introduce a little bit information regarding to the Traffic Vietnam organization?
So Traffic is a very large international NGO. And we work in wildlife trafficking. We have about 150 staff, about 150 staff all over the world. And there are 7 regional offices. And Traffic in Vietnam belongs to the Southeast Asia region. So we're working very hard in the Southeast Asian region. And this is also the region where animal consumption, wildlife consumption, wildlife trade, and trafficking is at its highest levels of all of the other continents.
So can you share some information regarding to the Chi campaign launched by Traffic Vietnam?
There's 2 reasons why rhino horn is being used in Vietnam. The first one is the functional use, so that has a historical base in the traditional medicine, where the Chinese traditional medicine has written about the use of rhino horn in their old publications. And that has been taken over and has emerged in the culture for the traditional medicine here in Vietnam. The other reason why rhino horn is being used is because of emotional reasons, because it shows your power and it shows your status, because rhino horn is expensive. We, Traffic, are targeting Mr. L. So Mr. L is a middle class, higher income, mid to higher income earner. He's 35 to about 55 years old. We have found that he uses rhino horn, and Chi is all about the strength from within. We would like to show that successful business isn't coming from a piece of rhino horn. So the Chi campaign is built and very focused on Mr. L, and it's a social marketing campaign. So it builds on providing information that connects through providing an emotion or generating an emotion, and then that should result into behavior change, that results into an action that we want to, in this case, stop using rhino horn.
What are the main activities of Chi campaign regarding to the social marketing that Traffic Vietnam has carried out?
We've placed 70 billboards across Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi with these messages. We've set up a website. It's a microsite just focused on Chi, where Mr. L can come and visit, and this website has been advertised in the big newspapers that Mr. L goes to, Dantry and VN Express. The other thing that we've done is we worked with Vietnamese airlines, and we've actually created a boarding pass holder that they hand out while Mr. L and his family check in, or when he goes onto a business trip and fly business class. So the boarding pass and his business class vouchers are being put in here. And again, this is another, a way of enticing Mr. L to find out more about Chi. We work very closely with the Ministry of Health, the Traditional Medicine Administration, on trying to have the traditional medicine practitioners, because we also work with the Forestry Protection Department and the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, as well as the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment, to really set in the legislation, because we need to attack this from several areas.
The campaign Chi performs various new approaches through the use of multimedia communication channels such as billboards, posters in airports, stores, and digital signage, direct communication teams, and business networking events. This is the first time that the media images of rhino protection does not have any images of rhino or business advertising. It only includes the messages impacting on the perception of the objects using the rhino horns. Right after the press conference to launch the campaign, Traffic Vietnam conveys the image and message to the Greatest CEO Forum Vietnam, Vietnam CEO Forum 2014, held by the young entrepreneurs in Ho Chi Minh City and their partners, with the aim of calling for the Vietnam's business leaders in the protection of animals and endangered wildlife. It also mainstreams corporate social responsibility into the activities of major events such as Willpower a Business in the Dynamic Economy workshop held by the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry or VTC10 and the conference connecting women entrepreneurs.
Biết đến cái dự án Chí của Traffic là từ cuối năm 2014. Đây là một dự án truyền thông xã hội về bảo vệ động vật hoang dã, hoang dã rác. Thì qua cung cấp và thực hiện một số cái ấn phẩm truyền thông cho dự án thì biết đến thay đổi cái và nó nâng cái nhận thức của mình về cái việc có hay không sử dụng cái sừng tê giác. Từ trước đến giờ là về cái nhận thức về cái việc sử dụng sừng tê giác là gần như là không có. Qua cái việc mà triển khai dự án này thì mình góp phần hiểu biết hơn về sừng tê giác và cái việc mà bảo tồn và bảo vệ các loài động vật như là tê giác.
As a program lead for demand reduction at Traffic, the job can be both challenging and fulfilling. Why is it challenging? It's because as you work along the way, you uncover new things, you uncover new approach, and you have to adapt new approach because demand reduction at this moment is a pilot program, and we want to use behavior change as the approach to address demand in Vietnam. I actually know that I'm doing something good for my country, for the society, and especially for Rhino.
According to a recent survey announced by the Convention on International Trade and Endangered Species or CITES Vietnam and International Humanitarian Organization HSI, the demand for purchase and use of rhino horns in Vietnam has declined by 38%, and the number of people believing the healing of the horn fell by 25.4%. Thanks to the propaganda campaigns to raise the awareness of society. With this result, Traffic Vietnam and the Chi campaign will hope to continue developing the campaign, affecting more objects to reduce the demand for rhino horn in Vietnam, as well as contributing to global efforts of protecting this rare and endangered animal worldwide. One of the things that I still wonder, why there is this campaign targeted on a group of urban men living and working in the big cities of Vietnam?
That's a really good question, and that's a question that we're often asked. Because why do you target your campaign on such a small audience? But it's a very powerful group, and it's a very wealthy group that can actually afford to buy rhino horns. So we've heard from, for example, some of the medical, the traditional medicine pharmacists, that it's not the normal people that come and buy rhino horn. It's the wealthy people.
As I know that there's a lot of programs, projects and organizations concerned about the protecting rhinos in Vietnam and even around the world. So what is the differences of Chi campaign launched by Traffic Vietnam compared to other projects?
The difference in the Chi campaign is that it's extremely focused on focused and targeted to an audience. Most of the campaigns are quite general, so they might just go to mothers. That's all the mothers in the whole of Vietnam. This campaign, Chi campaign, is focusing on the businessman, Mr. L, in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, and we really know him. We feel we can really bring the message and entice him to look into this message. So that's why this is different and exciting, also innovative, also new. So we have to prove still that it really has an effect. But like I said before, we do think there's so many positive responses that is generating some change in Vietnam.
Lastly, can you share about the plans of Chi campaign launched by Traffic Vietnam in 2015?
Well, in 2015, we want to steamroll Mr. L with the Chi campaign. We want to make sure that he knows what Chi is about, that he sees Chi everywhere he goes, and change his behavior, and then of course measure it. Which brings me to my second point. We really want to make sure to make demand reduction into a science. The third thing that we want to do is to really engage with VTCI, the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we've already done a lot of work with them. We really want to engage in workshop and trainer opportunities so that they can integrate the corporate social responsibilities of zero tolerance to wildlife consumption in their businesses. We've developed a corporate social responsibility guide on that, and that is the base of those workshops.
Thank you, Ms. Madelon Willemsen, for joining our program today. And that is also the end of our program Sharing Vietnam. I hope that we give you more information regarding to the Chi campaign launched by Traffic Vietnam organization, as well as its impact to reduce the rhino horn consumptions in Vietnam. For comments and feedbacks, please send it to sharingvietnam@netviet.net. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.